So I emerged from the jungle of willow brush and grass to a little clearing. I figured I would explain. If you hear huffing and puffing, that's why I showed the dog. That's who's huffing and puffing. Although I do occasionally huff and puff, I can't take credit for this current huffing and puffing. All right, back to where I was going to explain why we cut some chunks out of the willow brush here. We cut some little L's into it, and we're eventually going to do a little grid pattern back in here today. But I just figured I'd explain why. Let me pan the camera, give you a little idea of what we're dealing with. You notice, first thing, willow brush. Then you notice pines and spruces. Oh man, you're going to get the full 360. Oh yeah, there it is. All right, we're back where we started. So basically, we're cutting these little swaths out of the willow jungle. And we're going to come in here next spring with some red and silver maples and a bunch of tree tubes. And we're going to plant those and tube them and hopefully add some diversity to this area. We'll probably be fighting these willows. You look at these little stumps and you may think, well, that willow's dead. No, these are tough little buggers. Where you got one like this, he may two sprouts may grow back where that one was. The only thing I've discovered that'll knock these things down is right after you cut them. If you come and spray Roundup, and I would say probably within an hour after you cut them, while this is still kind of moist, you spray Roundup on it, and that puts them down for the count. But yeah, I just figured I'd share a little of this in case someone else has a little project like this they're working on. And now this looks rough. You think, man, you could never reclaim this, you might be thinking. Well, you know, like I said, we're going to be planting red and silver maple. I'm going to walk over to an area that looked just like this. All right, I'm going to pause the camera here and we'll go over there. All right, here we are. Here's a hybrid popple popping out of the tube. And you can obviously see there's still willows going behind this because we stopped our progress. We got kind of tuckered out. But if you look around, the hybrid popples, obviously, you know, that's what they're known for. They're the first ones popping out of the tubes. But we got a mix in here. Everything looks kind of rough because it's fall. We've already had a couple hard frosts up here. But like, here's a maple. And we got a bunch of oaks in here, but they're not popping out of the tubes, but some of them are getting pretty close. But yeah, this area, I'll do a quick 360 pan. I know I necessarily don't like when the camera spins around. Watching it on video doesn't turn out very good. But I just want to show you what we got going here. Okay. All right, now like I said, this area looked, you see those willows right there? That's what this area was. We basically spent, boy, a couple weeks back here, and we were using the tractor, and we were, now this might even been before we had the tractor. We were, yeah, it was before. We had a brush grubber and a GMC 1500 pickup, and we were hooking the brush grubber to the willows, ripping them out of the ground, and then we were burning them. And now that was the first year, and now this is 2 years later. We had some little pockets where the willows are starting to grow back that I'm gonna have to attack, but the majority of it staying just grass. I do come in here when I see the willows starting to pop up, and I mow them down. But yeah, you can literally turn an area that's all willows like that into what hopefully should be a good little deciduous forest. I know hybrid popples aren't the greatest trees, but we got those mixed in with oak and red maple just so we could get some instant satisfaction, you know, the hybrid popples. Like that one back there, he's probably, I would say 8 feet tall, and he's 2 years old. So how can you beat that, you know? So that's basically why we have them. We know they don't have the longest lifespan and their wood is kind of weak, but they give you that instant satisfaction of seeing a tree growing. Although these maples aren't too far behind. I mean, granted, this is probably the best one we got popping out of the tube, but this is what's making us lean towards doing red maples back there, red and silver maples back in that little section that we're cutting. But just in case you have a willow area, or a spot people like to call a willow swamp on your property, and you're thinking, oh man, you can never do nothing with that, because so many people told us, yep, you can't do nothing with that. It's just what it is. It's useless land. Well, if you roll up your sleeves and aren't afraid to sweat a little bit, yeah, you can turn it into a forest. And I got a feeling, I mean, this ground, it's not really a swamp per se, but it's a clay soil, so it does hold water. When it rains, it puddles and it takes a while for it to sink in. But I got a feeling once all these trees grow up in this area, this thing, or Coors is adding to the water. He just watered a willow on me, man. What team are you on? But I got a feeling once these trees all grow up, that this area will be nice and dry. It'll be a completely different environment than it was when it was just those willows. So I just wanted to show that, because if like I said, if you have a property that's willows and you're thinking, oh man, that's useless, I can't do nothing with that. Well, it can be changed, and it doesn't require, you know, $1 million equipment to do it. You can do it with a chain, a brush scrubber, and an old pickup truck. So just figured I'd throw that out there. All right, well, that's the end of this little segment. Thanks for watching.